I think I saw this getting traction. Sean Strickland explains his stance on the LGBT community. 10 years ago, to be trans was a mental illness. Well, being gay is still an illness of a kind, you know. Any kind of gay. Trans is just a kind of gay. Got this video from Censored Men, blue check mark. Classic, right there. I like to get all my social opinions from athletes. What is this guy? Oh, wait, it says UFC in giant gold letters right there. This account is pro-Russia, too. Almost all accounts that are like this, like Hard Man explains why gay is degenerate, are going to be pro-Russian.
We've got a pretty supportive gay and lesbian community in this city. I did want to ask you about something you wrote a couple of years ago. You said, if I had a gay son, I would think I'd...
Oh, look, another, I'm saying to you, the swamp, you guys, the swamp.
You become a champion.
What? What are you saying? He's so clever. This is CTE speaking. He's referencing Trump. No, I understand what he's referencing. So what he just did right there is a sign of fear. What are you all CTE posting? What are you referring to? Brain damage from fighting? Oh, okay, gotcha. Does he have it, or are you just assuming he has it? I mean, I'll assume that he has it for a UFC fighter. Probably. We'll just assume that he does. It's okay. We'll just assume that he does. Anyway, you can tell he's fearful of the question that's being asked because he spoke quite loudly with a non sequitur to interrupt it. Presumably, he wrote a few years ago something extremely homophobic. He said, what was it? If my son was gay? He probably said, like, if his son was gay, he would beat them or whatever. And he didn't want that said, so he, like, spoke over it.
If you become a star and someone says...
Let me ask you something. Are you gay?
Have you had the chance to interact with a more diverse...
Let me know, are you gay?
Can I get an answer?
Well, no, I'm asking, this is a part of, are you a gay man?
I'm an ally of the community.
So this is like a sign of terror right here. He doesn't want to talk on this issue unless he's controlling the framing. I think, though, if you're doing the interview, you shouldn't acquiesce and answer any of his questions. You should just ask your questions. You know, you're not the one who's being interviewed. Because now he's probably going to go, like, on a rant now or something, right? Because, like, that was his bait.
Okay. If you had a son and he was, like, you know, you had a son, he was gay, you'd be like, oh, man, you don't want a grandkid?
No problem with it.
Oh, man. Well, dude, you're a weak man, dude. You're part...
What a pussy. He interrupts with a non sequitur to avoid having what he used to say read back to him. Then he starts like interjecting to try to reframe the conversation in the format that he wants. And first of all, you can have a gay person who has a kid, you know, and then like, you're what a weak man. It's like a total unwillingness to defend what you've said or what you believe on any level, and just immediately turn it into like a macho meat man kind of thing. Which, in fairness, he's a UFC fighter. Like, there's a reason why UFC, MMA, and other stuff tends to attract the most like whingy, pathetic right-wing dudes. Andrew Tate, literally, like, because the kind of like the shit that a guy who does this for his job has to tell himself to keep moving forward with it, you know. They all have to be at least a little bit in the head. And it promotes the most insanely, like, meathead divergent talking points possible there.
Are the problem. You elected Justin Trudeau. Like, when he sees the...
Ramble. Just rambling. Like, it's just ramble time now. He didn't want to answer the question. He wanted to do a ramble. Did you hear about wokeness?
Bank accounts. Like, you're just pathetic. And the fact that you have no backbone, and has he shut down your country and seized bank accounts?
What is he literally, like, what the is he on about here? I know what he's referring to with the swamp and with the Trudeau bank account shutdown, which I, by the way, argued against in the great Canadian purge of my community. Yeah, after the trucker protests. But like, what the does that have to do with what's being talked about? Isn't this a recent clip? Isn't this a recent clip? Like, why is he just going like randomly, like, oh yeah, 2 years ago this happened. What is he talking about? I don't know. He's waffling. Blood's waffling. He doesn't want to answer the question. Yeah, because that's why he was trying to like bait into a big, you know, rambly non-answer.
You ask me some stupid shit like that, go fuck yourself. Move the fuck on, man.
He's scared of the question. Also, he didn't ask anything. He got interrupted. He wasn't able to ask anything.
That doesn't really answer the question, but I did want to ask also things you said about the trans community. You said this past October when...
With regards to the interviewer, he's made his opinions on the subject clear with regards to gay people. What the f do you think he's going to say about trans people? You know?
They announced the Bud Light sponsorship that you'd go so hard on Bud Light in your next fight, they'll have to accept me or denounce me when they know what and will know what they stand for. Are you
This
still,
guy's like, hey, this Canadian's not that Canadian.
Are you still going to use your fight time
What? What's the name for the brain damage?
to kind of speak on that?
Here's the thing about Bud Light. Here's the thing about
He has a nice shirt. Yeah, what does it say? A woman in every kitchen, a gun with every man, or something. Men like this are... So, first of all, this guy either has or will, like, domestically abuse a woman at some point in his life and then kill her. The people like this are so insanely insecure. Like, they're petrified at all points in time. They have, like, unironically, like, orc-brained, you know? Like demi-human. They are so meat-headed and so angry and insecure and brash, and they can't think critically. All of these things are like legitimate consequences of persistent brain damage, by the way. It's not just like, you know, like it happens. He was abused by his alcoholic dad. He has so much trauma. Well, there you go. Isn't it not to look down on victims of abuse or whatever, but I do think it's funny that like the people who promote the sort of individualist masculinity the hardest are the most open books when it comes to what's wrong with their brain. Like everyone just like walking by looking at this dude, instantly knowing the damage. In Strickland's adolescence, he developed a close relationship with his grandfather who held neo-Nazi ideology. Oh, well, there you go. That was the first sentence I saw. He adopted his grandfather's views, which were further reinforced through his viewing of the film American History X. I loved the film. I loved the life they lived, just dirty white trash, to have respect, you know? When I was a kid, that was someone I would hero worship, that ideology. This is why American History X fails, by the way. Because when miserable, stupid, white pieces of shit see it, they see, wow, so even a person that bad can have power. You just have to be racist. That like, you have to understand that people like this aren't capable of understanding media, you know? Like, it's not... Fought with his dad. Discriminatory comments. Oh, there's the comment. If I had a gay son, I would think I failed as a man. He was suspended from Twitter for inflammatory comments about LGBT topics ahead of Pride Month. During the press conference for UFC 297, I think that's this one, Strickland responded aggressively to a reporter asking about his previous comments, also criticizing Justin Trudeau. Yeah.
Bud Light. 10 years ago, to be trans was a mental illness, and now
today having this guy's brain is also a disability. So see how far things have come, you know? Now he's actually experiencing the plight of trans people 1 decade ago.
All of a sudden, people like you have weaseled your way in the world. You are an infection.
Yeah, man, I know I make jokes, well, quote unquote jokes. I mean it often. This guy actually is cooked, mentally. Like, he's not engaging with anything that was said. He didn't answer any questions. He just got mad, and he's, like, engaging with his feelings. Unironic Nazi posting? Yeah.
You are the definition of weakness. Everything that is wrong with the world is because of you. And the best thing is
dude didn't even say anything. Mother asked, like, you know, about his previous comments. He's trying so hard to sound like he's telling the hard truth. That's because that's what guys like this always think they are. They're like, yeah, I'm not that bright, and I don't talk that good, but when it comes right down to it, you know, I say the truth that needs telling. I'm not afraid of how I sound saying it. The problem is that they don't. They're actually just cards, and they bumble their way through every semi-coherent point they have to put forward. Joe Rogan loves them a bit. Oh, I'm sure.
The world's not buying it. The world's not buying your bullshit you're peddling. The world is not saying, you know what, you're right. Chicks have dicks. The world's not saying that. The world's saying, no, there are two genders.
If you go online, you will find the world has indeed said that and has been saying that for a long time. I'm sorry to say. The world has come to a consensus on the subject, and they've arrived at it.
I don't want my kids being taught about, you know, who they could school. I don't want my kids being taught about, you know, their sexual preference.
See, like, look at this. What the f is he talking about? The line he's supposed to be giving here is that he doesn't want them to be taught about, like, gender fluidity or trans people. But now he's arguing against the concept of sex education. You don't want them to learn about, like, wait, at all? Like, no biological education whatsoever on human reproduction? Like, but he's just saying shit, you know? There's not much thought going into it.
Like, dude, this guy is the enemy. You want to look at the fucking enemy to our world? It's that motherfucker right there.
So the only reason he reacted this strongly is because he has such strong negative feelings associated with the fallout that came from those comments that he made and what got him banned from Twitter originally. I assume he's back on Twitter because Elon unbanned everyone, but it's like it's just, you know, it's like an animal. Holy shit, this dude sounds like a Nazi. Well, I mean, you know, upbringing. Yeah, not good.